Hello everyone. Today our topic is project management in operation management. So first of all we discuss about the project management concept. The project is defined as a temporary but interrelated task undertaken to give in a unique product or service or results. So projects are different from other ongoing operations in an organization because unlike operations, projects have a definite beginning and an end. So they have a limited duration. Projects are critical to the realizations of performing organizations business strategy because projects are a means by which the strategy of the company is implemented. So a project is a temporary endeavor having a defined beginning and end, usually constrained by date, but can be funding or deliverable undertaken to meet unique goals and objectives. So usually to bring about beneficial change or added value. So the temporary nature of the project stands in contrast to business as usual or operations which are repetitive. So permanent or semi-permanent functional work to produce products or services in organizations. So a project is a investment made on a package of irrelated time bound activities. Consequently, a project becomes a time bound task. So every project has two phases basically. The first is preparation and constructions, and the second its operation part. So the project planning deals with specified tasks, and operations are activities which must be performed to achieve the project. So its goal and any projects that we may consider has an objective or a set of objectives to achieve. So it has to be operated with a given set of rules, regulations, constraint and restrictions in organizations. So implementation of projects needs resources or inputs. Every project converts the given inputs into outputs through a process of implementation. So the outputs in the short run lead to outcomes which in the long run should result in impact. So a project can be defined as a complex of non-routine activities that must be completed with a set amount of resources and within a set time limit in organizations. So the following figure now I am explaining. So a typical example of projects including construction of a house, performing a marriage, overhauling a machines, maintenance of equipments, commissions of a factory or commissioning, conducting national elections, research on developing a new technology, launching a new weapon system, conducting a war, crisis planning for preventing a riot, recruiting of a project manager. So each of the above cases that I mentioned right now involves investment of resources on a package of interrelated time bound activities, so thereby constituting a project. So project also involve one or more elements that have not been done in the past and are thereby therefore unique. A project or service may be unique even if the category to which it belongs is large. For example, although several residential complexes have been built in the past, so creation of a new house will be a project because each facility can have elements such as a unique location and customized or adapted design, not copied, adapted design and regionally available resources and or discrete owners. So now characteristic of a project or project management. First, temporary projects are temporary in nature. Every project has a beginning and end that I mentioned earlier right now, and the word temporary here may refers to an hour, a day or a year. So operational work is an ongoing effort which is executed to sustain the business. But projects are not ongoing efforts. A project is considered to end, and when the project objectives have been achieved or the project is completed or discontinued, only projects are temporary in characteristics and not the project's outcomes. It will not generally be applied to the product, service, or result created by the project. So the projects and may often have intended and unintended social, economic, and environmental impacts that long last. So building was a project. The structure was built between from year. So the project is still the outcome of the project exists as a monument. Now, definite beginning and completions. So project is said to be completed when the project's objectives have been achieved, when it is clear that the project objectives will not or cannot be met, the need for the project no longer exists and the project is terminated. Thus, projects are not ongoing efforts. So thus every project has a definite beginning and end in operations. Now, definite objective, scope and unique in project management. So all the projects have their own defined scope, objectives for which they are carried out. Every project is undertaken to create a unique project, service or results. So hundreds of house buildings may have been built by a builder, but each individual building is unique in itself, like they have different owner, different design, different structure, different location, different subcontractor and so on. So thus each house building is to be considered as a project and each project produces unique outcomes. Now define times and resources. As the project have definite beginning and end, they are to be carried out within the time and resources constraints. So each project will have defined time and resources for its executions. Now multiple talents, as project involves many related tasks done by many specialists, the involvement of people from several departments is very much essential. Thus the use of multiple talents from various departments, sometimes from different organizations also and across multiple geographics, so become the key for successful project management. For example, take the construction of house building. The expertise of very many professionals and skills of various people from various fields like architect, engineers, carpenters, painters, plumber, electrician, interior decorator, etc. are being coordinated to complete the house project totally. Now basic elements of project. So there are three basic elements which must be considered in a project cycle. So these are discussed right now. Number one, operations. Operations are the activities or job which must be performed To meet the project objectives, these activities should be defined and arranged in a logical sequence. After determining the project job sequence, the method of performing each operations must be determined in advance. So the method in turn predetermines the time and cost required to perform. Now resources. The second of the project elements. Resource can be classified under manpower, money, method, material, machines and time. So time and cost estimates are associated with the method of performance, where the cost estimate relates resource expenditure to a common measures of cost in money alone, and the time estimate defines the expected duration of the resource use. Now, conditions or restraints. The third project element refers to externally imposed condition or restraints like supply of materials, machines and design by outside agencies. The delivery system should be planned carefully in coordination with the activities to be undertaken. The two basic activities which normally get completed before undertaking the installation of the equipment in any project are: one is land acquisitions, then two infrastructural development. So the most of the projects are undertaken next to a river or road, railways, junctions, or a busy commercial center with a view of cutting down the expenditure for developing the external infrastructure needed for the project. So such a road, railway, points, schools, commercial center and residential accommodations also, which otherwise put a heavy burden on the project authorities. There is a general sentimental oppositions from the landowners as well as tillers to hand over their land for fear of losing their earning opportunities, and the project team must try to cope with such contingencies. Now, white elephants in India, almost every project in infrastructural sector has been delayed for one reason or the other. The reports of Ministry of Projects Implementations, Government of India carry alarming information on project cost and time overruns, which have become a serious economic problem. One can go on and on to show that these modern temples are become white elephants, and it is the duty of the professional project manager to identify the reason and try to reduce the delay to building modern India. Now, stages is project life cycles. The project life cycles typically passes through 4 stages. Number 1, initiating, number 2, planning, then executing and closing. So the following figure shows the project life cycles. Now, starting points begins the moment the project is given by the go ahead. So project efforts start slowly, build to a peak and then decline to delivery of the project to the customers. These stages in the project life cycles are discussed right now. So number 1, project initiation stage. So in this stage, the specifications of the project are defined along with the clear-cut project objectives. So project terms are formed and their major responsibilities are assigned. More specifically, this stage defines the goals, specification, tasks and responsibilities also. Now, project planning stage. In this stage, the effort level increases and plans are developed to determine what the project will install or entail, when it will be scheduled, whom it will benefit, what quality levels should be maintained, and what the budget will be. So more specifically, this stage will include planning schedules, budgets, resources, risks and staffing. Now project execution stage. In this stage, a major portions of the project work tasks take places. The physical project is produced for house, bridge, software, program, reports, etc. So time, cost and specifications measures are used for control. More specifically, this stage will take care of status reports, changes, quality and forecasts also. Now, project closure stage. So this is the final stage, which includes two activities: delivering outcome of the project to the customer and redeploying the project resources. So delivery of the project might include customer training and transferring documents also. So redeveloping usually involves releasing project equipments, materials to other projects and finding new assignments for team members. More specifically, this stage will undertake activities relating to retraining or training the customer, transfer of documents, releasing resources, releasing staff and also learning lessons. Now, classified projects. The projects can be classified into various steps. One, based on ownership. So the public projects, first of all, these are the projects which are done by the public projects. Construction of roads and bridges, as I mentioned earlier. Private projects, these are the projects which are undertaken by private enterprises. Any business related projects such as a construction of house by real estate builders. So software development, managed contracts, etc. And public-private partnerships. So these projects which are undertaken by both government and private enterprises together, that is generations of electricity and garbage collections, etc. And based on investment, so a huge outlay or investment, say crores, to establish projects, roads construction of manufacturing facilities. Medium scale projects, these projects involves medium level investment and are technology oriented. Example, computer industry and electronic industry. Now small scale project, these projects involve only a lesser investment. Agricultural projects, manufacturing projects, etc. Now based on research, so major projects in academia, the project are those projects which involves more than 1 year to 3 years or 5 years, and minimum funding of 3 lakhs in case of social science and 5 lakhs in case of science. Minor projects, the minor projects in academia are those projects which will be completed within a year and have a maximum funding of 1 lakh in social science and 3 lakhs in case of science. So that's for the video, my friends. If you like my educational channel, please subscribe, share my educational channels. Thanks a lot for watching my videos and blogs. Thanks a lot.